Hello. Imagine being in a world where your home is where it should be. Everything is where it should be in your life. But there's something else there too. And it seemingly shouldn't be there. Tonight, my guest has kind of that thing going on with literally a colony of Bigfoot sharing his property with him. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, Randy Bauer.
Bauer, yeah.
Hey, I'm just like messing up names tonight. I'm messing up a lot of things. Okay, Randy, I want to hear how this all got started for you because your story is amazing and there's a lot to it. So, but there was a beginning, there was a before time. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. I was never no believer in Bigfoot, non-believer, believer. I wasn't anything about it. Give it a second thought. Same as Loch Ness Monster. I don't give it a second thought. And I got to tell this quick, like first. I'm big in the deer hunting thing. I'm 66 now. When I was 12 years old, Dad would put me back in a stand way back in the woods, and they owned a lot of hunting land, and I'd have to stay there dark till dark. I didn't know where I was at, so I stayed there no matter how cold it was. Oh yeah, they were the meat hunters, and you had to get one. If you missed, what's wrong with that gun? It'd be on me, but not bad, but checking that gun out. So I still hunt that way. That was the reason why I'm talking about this. I will go to behind the house here. I hunt. We got our land here, and then there's state land in Minnesota. As you know, Minnesota owns the land, but it ain't no park or nothing like that. It's just all woods. And I'll be in my stand at 5 in the morning, and I'll set dark till dark in the woods. It's no heaters, nothing like that. Something I just make out of the trees. Put some camouflage burlap around it, and I sit there all day long. Don't get out for bathroom or anything. I tough it out. I see a lot of deer that way. Okay, after deer hunting is done, it's usually the third week of November. There's snow on the ground and all that. I'll go back past my stand and see if I can see where deer go during the hunting pressure. Maybe I can find a new spot. And so that Monday morning, 13 years ago, I'm walking back in the woods. I get past my stand, maybe not very far away. And I came across this. I could see where 3 deer had laid down in the snow. I could see their bed. Something killed 3 deer in their bed and left nothing but hair. No bones, no hide, no rib cage, no skulls, no nothing, no legs. Hair has been plucked out. And right away, I'm thinking, oh, my God, a pack of wolves back here, and I got no gun. And I got really weird feeling. So I took a picture of it because I wanted to show my wife, Terry, you got to see this, what I've seen. I've never seen nothing like it. And those deer bedded down that night because I would have seen that. Mm-hmm. Wolves and cougars and all that, I've got pictures of them, how they kill deer, just to try to show people. They leave a massacred mess. Stomachs ripped open, bones all over. Yeah. It's awful looking. It's awful looking. And a pack of wolves are not going to kill 3 deer in their bed. One of them is going to get away, you think. It's 3 deer. So I get home there. Terry, you got to look at this. The picture's gone. The picture's not there. I took several pictures. None of them are there. I thought, wow. Oh, my God, I had a new iPhone, whatever it was, 13 years ago, I must not know how to save my pictures. Okay. And then I noticed I play in a band. That's all I've done my whole life. I'm a musician and I have a sound company. So we played a lot when we were doing it in Wyoming, Nevada, the Western states. We were going to leave after Christmas time to go out to, we'd go to North Dakota, Wyoming, Nevada, Arizona. We'd make a 6-week tour and then we'd come back. Our agent was from New York. He'd book us and then we'd come back home for about a week. But I noticed before I left, I said, Terry, this is really weird. We got a deer food plot back behind the house. It's about 1 acre. Had alfalfa planted. There's no tracks back in our woods. None. So that's the strangest thing. No tracks. So we go on the road, we come back. And that year, we were back on end of February. It was so cold. I was going to be 40 below that night. And the snow was so deep, it was past my knees in the woods. That's how deep it was. It wasn't drifted. That's how deep it was. So I knew at that time there was no barbed wire fence from our land to the state land. This farmer bought this land, and it's called a wooded pasture. He didn't clear it off, just woods, and he got cows in there for a month in July. So he's got a fence there. I could ride On the snowmobile back there, I knew on the old logging roads. These are not roads. There's some like in the 1900s when they logged Minnesota. So they're just trails. Some of them aren't even wide enough for a four-wheeler. Hardly. They're all rode in like this. I knew I could take the snowmobile, ride around those old trails, and come back home. The next day I could walk my trails because it would be 40 below that night, and I don't mean wind chill. So I could walk those frozen snowmobile trail. And I'm doing that. I start coming back home, and I come across these tracks. After it's all said and done, they were 17 inches long, 7 feet between each step in line. First, I look at them, what the heck is this? And I kind of ruined them. I got my tracks around them too, but I did put sticks on each of the tracks. They stepped across our river, and that river is not like Mississippi River, but it's still wide enough. I personally can't jump across it. And I'm looking at it, I said, what the heck is this? And I kind of laugh. Is this Bigfoot? That's what I thought, Sort of like, I didn't ever see no Bigfoot, but so I go home and I look up Minnesota Bigfoot and I come across the SRA. And I had a deal you could fill out, and you got any kind of pictures, send them in. I did all that. God, it wasn't even an hour. He called me right back. The head guy, he says, Randy, you got a Squatch. That's all this all started. And then he told me what to look for. Do I have X's? Like Doug Hychek said, I got more X's than anybody in the country here behind my house. And told me what to look for. And then they came here, and they're the ones that walked away, said, I've never been to a place that had so much going on. Now, I'm going to have to skip ahead a lot because I could go for 2 days straight if I went from everything. So I'll kind of tell you what's going on, and then I'm going to tell you things that they've done to me. So that's how that all started. And then, God, I got so much to say. I should write it down in an outline. If you got any questions, too, you ask me, and I'll stop and I'll go on. They hit my house all the time. They leave oily white finger streaks on the house. They mess around all the time in the house. But here's the thing. They've been in the house before. Peed on my bed. Peed on my clothes. I'll tell that story, too.
Right.
They have told me what they're not. They didn't tell me what they are. They told me what they're not. They told me what the X's mean. They have told me what the knocking sound is. And it's not them hitting a tree. They shouldn't even call them wood knocks because they're not wood knocks. I'll tell you that in a second. Where do you want me to go from here? Keep on going as I go?
Keep going because you're hitting on some things that I'm very interested, especially the wood knocks. That is one of those areas that I'm very interested in hearing about.
Okay. Before I go there, and then Jim, he was the head guy at the time. He said, Randy, you don't ever want to feed them. And you feed them, that's going to be bad if you quit. That would be really bad. Well, I don't listen to nobody. I want the interaction because I wanted to learn. So here's what I did. I could take the four-wheeler back at the time behind the house and go back in that state land. I took 6 apples with me. I cut them in half, so I had 12 pieces. And I brought an aluminum ladder with me, one of part of a double section ladder, so I could carry it as light. Drove with one hand, carried the ladder. I got it back there, way back on the state land. And I brought the aluminum ladder because I wanted to put it up in popple trees high up because popple bark is kind of soft. So if a bear would have climbed up, a raccoon, porcupine, anything, I would have seen their scratch marks in the climbing up. And I stood in that ladder as far as I could, and I reached out as far as I could and stuck the halves on different trees in a circle there. And I went back there every day. They were gone every day. And it was too high up for a deer to stand on its hind legs and reach for the apples. So there's an old deer stand, maybe 60 yards from those apples in the woods. And I thought, well, nothing I made. It's been a long time. Even about 12 feet, I was scary to climb up the thing, but I did it. And I wanted to see if I could see what's taking those apples. I'm sitting there, and it's in the summertime, maybe 6:30. It's still really nice and light out. And I'm sitting there. All of a sudden, in the corner of my eye, I seen the Sasquatch. My first one I seen walk from this side of the woods to the little trail to that side. The trail is a little bit wider than four-wheeler. Lots of brush growed in. I seen it cross over, and I thought, oh, my God, some things are real. I finally seen one. And I thought, damn, I got scared, I didn't know no better. And I don't want to sit here in this deer stand, but I don't want to get down either. It's here. Finally, I got brave enough, and I'm glad I had the four-wheeler. I didn't want to drive back or walk back 2 miles and back in the woods to home. So I just got out of there. That was my first sighting. And it was massive. Yep. And then I started gifting in another spot.
It's funny because we're.
Go ahead.
Huh?
Oh, were you going to say
I was
something?
saying for some reason we're getting. Yeah, we're getting. For some reason we're getting some crazy interference tonight too. But go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to tell you why. My Wi-Fi here is good and internet is good. It's underground cable and stuff. Every time I'm on a podcast with somebody, they have the same thing every time. They get a weird deal going on their
That's
end
crazy.
that they never have before. Ask Tom, he had that there. Ask any of them people that have done podcasts with, they hit the same thing. I know it is crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
It is. It's definitely like interference, which is really weird.
Yeah, it shouldn't be because I'm good here. Want me to keep talking?
Yeah. It just
And
is.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Keep going.
Okay.
Yeah. Keep going. Definitely. Because
So I'm going to skip way ahead there. I'll skip way ahead and I'll get to the
next.
bigger points. Even my bigger points are going to take a lot. Then I started gifting behind the house here. And before that there, I used to carry a rifle all the time. I watch all those TV shows and all that. I didn't know no better. I'm not going to run no TV shows down, but they're not real. But anyways, I didn't know no better, so I was carrying a rifle, watching them shows and saying they're a dangerous thing and all that kind of stuff, which is not true. Well, it's not true here, anyways. And Jim said, "Randy, you got to stop carrying a rifle." He said, "Yeah, they know what a gun is. You got to stop that." And he said, "You got to talk to them." I said, "Talk in the woods by myself?" I said, "No." He said, "Yeah, you got to talk to them. It'd be like me walking in your house. Who's coming in my house?" And he said, "Wear a GoPro camera backwards." I said, "I don't have one." He said, "Take your phone every once in a while, go like this and snap a picture. You might look at you as you pass by." So I did that one day. Nobody's home here. Terry's gone. And you can't even see our house from the highway. We're back in the woods here, and we don't have no neighbor. We got one neighbor, my daughter, and one older person lives across the road. There's no kids here, no pranking like that. And the other thing is, I don't talk to the neighbors about what's going on here, not at all. Okay, so I did that. I said, "Hey, this is Randy. I'm just looking at your stuff and trying to learn about you. I'm harmless." And I said that a lot. And I'm way across the river now in a swampy area, kind of like. I finally get home. I'm sitting on the couch and I've got my phone here and I'm looking. Oh my God, I got 3 Sasquatches. I had 3 Sasquatch pictures on my phone. And I'm excited about it. All of a sudden, a pound, louder than heck, but I thought it was a knock on the door. Oh my God, I get startled. Who's coming to our door, knocking on our door, I thought. And I get up to walk to the kitchen, to the entryway doorway. And in a female voice, it goes, "Randy," says my name. Oh, there is somebody there. I go out there. There's nobody there. It ain't like somebody said, "Well, maybe there's a kid that ran up there and hit you." No, there's no kid to come and hit our house. And if they did, I'd see it by the time I got there. And so I got looking around the house and on the east side or south side of the house there, like I showed you those pictures, that streak, those white finger streaks on the side of our house. They hit the house there. That's what they did. That's the first time they slapped the house and said my name. Now, Jim said, "Randy, did you hear that or was it in your mind?" I said, "Well, it must have been in my mind. I didn't see nothing. I didn't see a thing out there." But they did slap the house because they left oily white fingerprints on my house. So that's happened.
Right.
And then I'll go to how they've been in the house. I'll be skipping around a lot. But, okay, when I'd be out in the woods all the time, well, I'll tell you that's the third time. My one granddaughter made it 7th in the world in calf roping and poles in high school rodeo. So I'll say where we're at, the little town of Bemidji, Minnesota. She was going to be at a rodeo there. So I had Bristol, that was 12 years old, and Madison, that was 7 years old. They went with me to the rodeo. It rained a lot that day. And my one daughter said, "Randy," her dad, she said, "Can you take our 1-ton truck and a big trailer, leave your pickup with us and bring 25 bales of hay back in the morning?" I said, "Yes." No, there's nobody home. There's no dogs here, nothing like that there. I get home about 10 o'clock at night. I go up to the door. Oh my God, I said, my house is locked. There's only one key, and it's on my pickup keys. Dummy, I should have spare keys, and I don't. And Rachel's got my pickup. How am I going to get in the house? All the doors are locked. There's no windows open or nothing like that. And so I find a crowbar, and I kind of got the door open and kind of kicked it in, ruined the door jamb a little bit. I get in the house there. I go into the kitchen table where I'm sitting right now. I'm going to show it to you. See it? Anyways.
Oh, yeah.
I had a new computer laptop. I put it down on the table. My hands get sticky. I said, what the heck? Turn the light on. Something came in a locked house, went in the freezer, opened it up, got an ice cream bar, opened it up, and laid the paper and the melted ice cream bar there, but the stick was on the total opposite side. Well,
wow.
The table's level. It can't roll over there. And if I'm going to have an ice cream bar, I'm not going to have one at 6 in the morning. If I'm going to have one, the girls are going to have one, and we're going to eat it. So
right.
I clean that mess up. I get the girls to bed. I go in my bedroom. I get ready to pull the covers down. My hands get wet again. What the heck? I say, my whole bed was peed on.
Oh,
all the way
jeez.
down to the mattress, bedspread, blanket, sheets, and comforter. I mean, a big thing like this, not just a little deal like this, all over. And so I couldn't sleep in the bed that night. So I get the stuff down and start washing, and I sleep on the couch. A week later, now we have a golden retriever, Annie. And in our bedroom, in our house here, can you see this door right here, like the French glass windows there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Our bedroom door is like that. Now I'm home by myself again, and I always feel weird here when I'm in this house by myself. I don't feel comfortable for some reason. I can't put my finger on it. So I always lock my bedroom door, even when I go to bed. I'm home by myself. And right alongside the bed, there's a hamper kind of thing. You take the top off, you can throw the clothes in the basement. It's about 3.5 feet up. Now, what happens when a female dog goes to the bathroom? She squats down, correct?
Right.
She can't lift up and go on top of that thing. There's no way. And it's only about that big and that wide. So I take my jeans and stuff off. They're not dirty. I just throw them up there. We get in bed about 2 a.m. There's a blanket that hangs on the door windows there, but it don't go all the way down. So 3 glass panes at the bottom are showing. And I get woke up, and she's growling viciously. I mean, like sucking and growling. It's awful. And golden retrievers are not like that. They don't do that. They're not.
Yeah.
It was bad. Here's the thing. I'm froze. I can't move. I cannot move. But the door handle is going click, 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 click. It's turning back and forth. I can hear it turning back and forth.
Wow.
Then I must have come out of that trance, whatever I was in. Next morning, guess what? All my clothes are totally peed on again. The same, totally soaked. I know why they did. I know why they did it to me. I'll tell you why. Because at the beginning of all this year, I'm in the woods every day, if I gotta go pee, I just go right there. I don't mean purposely go under stuff, but I'm right there and I go. They got me back. And when I found that out, I said, sorry, I've been doing that. I won't do it again. And I've had that problem since.
Wow. Yeah.
They listen to me. They do little things I ask. Little things I ask for. Like last year I said, hey, when I walk in and do my little gifting thing I do, I said, can you block this trail? Block this trail where I either got to go underneath it or go around it. Next day I go back there, that whole trail is blocked. I either got to crawl underneath it or go around it.
Wow.
And when I did that, and I'll get into that too, I have 5 little spots of little trinkets I do. I seen a fresh stick broke. And I went and looked at it. There was a white hair, about that long on it. And I didn't take it because my place is not for evidence. It's for the experience. That's why I'm getting the experience, because I ain't trying to get evidence. But anyways, I took a picture of it. Sent it. You guys know who Doug Highcheck is, right? Yeah. Sent it to him. He said, well, Randy, we know what that is. Did you take it? I said, no. I know it's Sasquatch. And the next day I said, I'll go back and get it. I'll go back and get it. And it's gone. But my eraser board, they must have got mad at me because they bent it all up and broke it in half, and they broke the frame and everything. And it's been there for a couple of years, moved my stuff around, but never touched like that. All of a sudden it is. And so I let it go in a mess like that for about 4 or 5 days. Then I decided I better clean that up, put it back where it was, get the broken frame, put it around there, put my little marbles on there again. And when I'm doing that, I found a piece of hair again, another one about that long, white. What I did, I picked it up and said, okay, you guys, here's your hair. I'm not going to take it. And where I do my peanut butter, I got 4 nails. So I went over there and wrapped it around nicely and tied it in the knot. And I said, here's your hair. So it hung down about that far. Here's your hair. Come get it. Next day I go back there. The hair is gone. They came, got it. I'll be the first one to say Sasquatch is flesh and blood. Of course they are. They leave tracks. They leave hair. But they're more than that. And I'll get into that.
Right.
They're more than that. Last year, I went through 300 jars of peanut butter, 30 bags of apples. Now, I sent you the picture of those caps.
Right.
That's them doing that. I have never did that. That's them doing that. They do that.
Let's see if I can
And they put them in color order. And they put that triangle sticks around there, too. That wasn't like that. I didn't do that. So I don't know. You trying to find it?
I'm going to see if I can find some of the.
Okay, while you're doing that, I'll keep on talking.
Yeah.
So do bear get my peanut butter jars? Of course they do. Raccoons do too. When a bear gets my peanut butter jars, it's down on the ground. It's totally ripped up, big teeth marks, and the cap is busted in half. There's residue still in it. A raccoon gets it, they chew a hole in the bottom. When a squirrel gets it, they chew around the cap a whole bunch of times so they kind of get through it, little teeth marks on it. When a Sasquatch gets it, the jar is gone. It's not to be found. Sometimes they bring it back and they'll take it and put it upside down in a branch of a tree or a bush. So far, they've done 10 of them out of the 300. And it looks like they went through a dishwasher.
Oh, wow.
Now, I'm not saying Sasquatch licks peanut butter. I've never seen them eat it. Who knows what they do with it? But they're not sitting here doing what people think they're doing at all. I don't know what they're doing with it because I've never seen that. And here's another thing I want to say. Anything I'm going to talk about is not opinions or theories. It's what I know, and it's what the Sasquatch people have told me, unless they're lying to me. That's the only way it'd be wrong. If they're lying to me, you know.
Right.
And I'll tell you about Mind Speaks. I won't tell you what they told me yet, but Mind Speaks are, okay, I'm thinking about, hey, I'm going to take a drink of this water right now. That's a thought. Mind Speak, when I get it, overwhelms my whole body. It stops me dead in my tracks. I'm in the woods. It just stops me. It overwhelms me. I've had four of them that I know of. But I want to tell about that a little bit later here. And so, okay, here's another thing that they did. I bought this little camper. It's just a little old thing, not for camping. When I'm doing an outdoor festival, when I say sound camping, I mean I'm hanging the speakers and the lights and trusting for national acts, somebody famous, little band, whatever. And I bought the camper, so when I'm doing a 2 or 3 day festival, I need to be by the stage, not go to some motel. Maybe it's going to storm. I just need to be there.
Right.
So I bought the camper and I had it up to the woods line in our yard. So the door would be facing south on the flat. And it had no dents or nothing in it whatsoever. It'd been in my daughter's father-in-law's place. It was old and dirty, but it was good, just dusty. So I'm going to clean it out. I got the door open. I have no key for the lock. I don't lock the door. Any way to lock the door is push it in and turn it. The door is open all the way. I go in to get a shop vac and some cleaning stuff. I come out, the darn door is shut, and it's locked. It don't lock by itself. Oh, my God. Here we go again. I got to pry the door open. So I did get it open, and I'm down right by the door. My head almost out of the door, and a Sasquatch walks by me. I see a whole half of its body and its legs. I look on like that, and it's gone, just like that. It didn't run off. It didn't jump in a tree. It didn't hover down because I'm in the open. It disappeared, just like it can do. And so Samantha, Terry's daughter, the one that's got the 2 kids, the 12-year-old and at the time, and the 7-year-old. She wanted to stay in the camper just for fun with the girls, like a little camping thing in our yard. But she didn't want it up by the woods line because she has seen Sasquatch too at my place. In fact, they've been seen 42 times at my place by 28 different people. I'm going to call them double class A sightings, 50 feet from me, 50 yards from me, 2 inches from my face, close up in the daytime, never at nighttime. And never back in the brush where I think I get a squatch blob. And these are flesh and blood, alive to me. Yes. Anyway, she wanted to stay in there in the camper, but she didn't want it parked up where I had it. She wanted it down door facing north by our garage in our yard. Because she's scared of them. She won't even walk in the woods with me no more at all. Even though my wife has seen them too. She will not walk in the woods. In fact, they've never even been to my little gifting area. Not one time. I can't get them to talk them into even riding on the side-by-side back there. And anyways, so when you have a camper in the back of a vehicle, you crank it off, correct? Crank it off the ball.
Right.
Put it on a solid block, cement block, whatever, and you crank it down so it's level, correct?
Right.
Okay, they're sleeping in there. And about 2 a.m, we get a frantic phone call from Samantha, and she's saying, "There's something shaking the camper back and forth, and it's knocking on it." So I go out there, and I knew I wasn't going to see nothing. Of course, I didn't. I said, "You girls must have come in," and they said, "No, we're fine now." So the next morning, I go out there, and guess what? They did shake the camper. They got knuckle marks all over the back of it, and they shook it so hard they took the jack right off the cement block and it was down into the gravel.
Wow.
Now, I can deadlift 500 pounds. I can't budge in front of that camper. It's too old and heavy, one of them old ones, So I don't know if they lifted it with strength or what they did with it. Here's what I said. I said, "Okay, you guys, I like you keep coming to the house. Keep having fun. Move things around, but quit hitting the camper. You're putting dents in it and you're scaring the girls." And they not touch it. Now, a couple of weeks before that, I forgot to tell you this. Terry was outside with one of our golden retrievers. We have 2 golden retrievers now, and they're sisters and a mini golden doodle. Here's the thing. When we got them when they're older, they weren't trained, so we got to put them on a leash. They run out the highway all the time. It's a pain. Or they'll find a rabbit, and they won't come back. So she's out taking the one dog to the bathroom, and all of a sudden the dog gets scared to heck and pulls Terry in the house. She almost trips. It's pulling so hard to get her in the house. They heard a big loud bang.
Oh, jeez.
So I'm over at my daughter's place with the big tractor and the brush mower mowing one of their horse pastures. And I come back and they're telling me about it. I go look around the garage, nothing. I happen to go by the camper door and there's a big dent in it. I show that to you. Big dent like that by the side of the door.
Right.
Now, this is why I don't give opinions, because to me, opinions and theories are just guessing. But I have to give opinion on this. I think they hit the door by the door like that because me and Terry were talking about Samantha wants it down this way, the door facing here. And she says, "No, we're not arguing, but we're discussing it." I said, "No, she wants a door here. She's scared of the Sasquatch." I think that's why they hit. She's telling me it doesn't matter where you put the door. We could still mess with the camper. Okay. They haven't messed with it in 2 years until this summer.
Wow.
So, where do you want me to go from here?
So
keep on going what I'm doing, or?
Yeah, at some point, I want to talk about. I think I got. For some reason, it's not wanting to send these photos, which is kind of frustrating. I want to talk about the apparition we were talking about earlier.
Okay, I'm going to take a quick drink of water. Okay.
Because I think that's a very important part of the story, simply because of the implications alone to it.
Want me to tell you what I said to you earlier?
Yeah.
Okay. When the SRA people were here and they'd seen so much going on here, they were a little bit, because they were thinking there was some kind of thing to be worried about.
Mm-hmm.
So they were worried about an SRA, Sasquatch Research Association of Minnesota. And they used to be part of the BFRO. They broke off, started their own thing. And they were kind of worried about, so they bought me and Terry some security cameras for the house just as a gift.
Mm-hmm.
So I had one poked out the bedroom window, so that would be facing east. And it was hooked up, so the camera would go. It's a motion camera, go off. It would go to my email. My phone would buzz that camera went off. So one morning it goes off. I'm looking at it. Oh my God! I say, Terry, there's like a ghost apparition dog here. I can see its face. It looks like a husky ghost looking dog, but I can see the outline of the body, the white outline of it. And you got to see this. I get ready to hand her the phone, and it goes off again. Oh my God! There's a Sasquatch here. Terry, we got a Sasquatch here. It is massive. It's a black one. And I go and hand her the phone again because she hadn't seen the phone yet with the ghost thing because it went off in that little bit of time. And my phone shuts right off. Oh my God, my phone's dead. I plug it in, it pops on 75% charge right away. That Sasquatch picture is gone. It's not there. So then I thought, you know what? I'll be able to get it on the SD card on the little camera. All it was on that camera was like swirls of like a tie-dye t-shirt. It's all was on there. The whole thing. There was nothing on there at all. Not of me when I first experimented with that and take a picture of me. It even went to my email. Nothing. But the dog picture is still there.
Wow.
I don't know what it is, but that thing had to move to make that camera go off. There was no wind or nothing like that.
Right.
And there's nothing down there. There's no sunlight reflection. There's no pails down there would reflect, look like a dog face. It's weird.
Yeah, that's very strange. And I'm going to see, try this again, because for some reason it's not going to send the pictures that I'm trying to get it to send into the, I believe this may be, is that
there it is. You got it. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's the one to the left. You see the nose and the ears and everything, the white face.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like right. I don't know if you guys can see the cursor or not. It's like right there. I wish there was a way to make this bigger.
I can see. Can you see my cursor? There's a face. I don't know. Can you see mine?
Yeah, I'm not paying them up. For some reason, it's not showing it. That's so weird. And this, oh my gosh, this is hysterical. But at the same time, when you made that voice a while ago, this of the one that called your name, this is exactly what popped up in my head.
It is
the exact image that popped up in my head saying Randy. I had to show you that, but it was like,
that's a good one.
it was definitely different.
I didn't really like the shade of lipstick it had on.
Yeah, it was a little red.
Yeah,
a little red. There's now there is one photo that you sent that went through that I was like, really, where did it go to now? This one here. Now this one is very interesting because there's actually more than one thing in this picture.
3 things there. I'll explain it to you. I was doing my gifting thing, and I never set out in the woods by myself. I mean, not at nighttime. I don't feel comfortable doing it because there's more than I'm not scared of Sasquatch. There's more. I got more going on than that.
Right.
But when I do my gifting, I usually do it in the summer about 6 o'clock. I do it every day. Because my stuff is moved every day. My peanut bar is gone every day. And back on the 40 acres in that deer food plot, there's like old couch chair that I put there, and there's a little fire ring and some chairs around there. I said, I'm going to go back there and sit there, you guys. And I walk back there, I'm on the couch, and I see something about, it must be 25 yards, maybe 20 yards from the couch to the woods line. So right now, if you look at that picture, I am to the north of that, but not far. From there, wow. I'm only about 15 feet from there. Anyways, I see something in the woods there, and it's a black Sasquatch. And I said to it, I see you over there. We watch you there for a good half hour. I said, I'm not taking a picture of you. But then, for some reason, I just took my phone and went like this here. Not even about 20 feet from that. And I just snapped a picture. I didn't see nothing. I just did it. And that's what was looking at me. Now, what is that? I've got that before, too, and some other stuff. I don't know what that is. It's not a deer. A deer is not going to stand there with those other things and be watching me. And if they were, I'd see it with my eyes.
Yeah, that was the thing that kind of threw me off. Is like, yeah, because it's just and like I said, when I saw this, I was like, that is just full of faces. There's just faces everywhere there.
Yeah, there's everywhere. And like I said, I didn't take that picture because I seen something there. I didn't see nothing there. I just randomly, somebody said a long time ago, just randomly take a picture once in a while. So that's what I did. That's all I did. And that was in there. There's one down to the right, that big one on top. I got pictures of this too. When Doug Hychek, when I was letting him do, and I'll tell you about that, his camera project, we got that on there too.
Right. Yeah, because you got, oh, wow. You have so many things that are just amazing. Like the stuff going on there is to me is just beyond like anything that any expectations I would have of when people talk about like high strangeness and all that is, and I, the this is the thing that really clinched it for me too. The fact that they retaliated whenever you did your business in their property.
Yeah.
It was like, how absolutely personal can they get? It's like, hey, we're not loving this, so let's show you how it feels.
Yeah, and it was bad. It was the sourest pee I ever smelled. It wasn't like a deer pee or anything, or a squirrel. It was bad. It was
Mhm.
bigger than I could show you pile.
Wow. Wow.
It
And
wasn't like a little stream.
wasn't there a point um where they kind of, some of the people that were that was there doing research on your property, um kind of kept smelling a foul odor,
Yep,
and they asked you to sing?
I'll tell you that one. Doug Hychek, in his recording engineer, electronic genius guy that does a lot for him, and Tanner, that's Terry's son.
Mhm.
And I'm going to tell you one thing: Sasquatch does not smell. They do not have an odor.
Right.
Period. They don't. They put that bad smell in a person's mind. And the reason they do, because they don't want that person there, because that person's trying to get evidence. That's why they do that. They never give me that bad smell. Not one time have they. So we're back, and he's looking at my gifting area there, and there's a nice teepee there, and we're talking about it. And he said, "Man, there's a lot going on here, Doug." He said, "Randy, sing." I said, "Sing?" He said, "Yeah, you play in a band, sing." Oh, I said, God. So I start singing some country song. What do you say when it's over? Just a little thing there. And
Wow.
they were feeling weird before that. That's why he wanted me to sing. So, and I quit singing, and they all three of them got that sour, wet dog, rotten meat smell. All three of them did. I didn't. I started singing again. It went away. I stopped singing. They got it. I started singing. It went away. They put that in their mind. They didn't give it to me. The only smell they give to me last year, I'm doing my gifting thing like I do and all that. And I start walking away to my next little spot. It's about 20 yards away, but we're all in the woods. And all of a sudden I get overwhelmed with a heavy skunk smell. And I thought, oh my God, I don't want to get sprayed. I stopped looking around all over, go back to where I did my peanut. I don't see there's no skunk here. I start walking away. The skunk smell is gone. Well, if a skunk is going to spray, it's not going to dissipate like that.
Mhm.
So I go to where I do my little Dyson Rubik's Cubes, and the skunk smell is there. I walk away, it's not there. I go back, it's not there. It followed me around the woods. So now when they do it, I just say, hey, come on, you guys, I smell you, let's go. I talk to them like they're my best friend, even though I'm not seeing them all the time. I don't feel dumb anymore doing that. I just do it because it's working. I did for a while there. And if anybody would hear me, there's nobody in our wood. They say, what is that guy doing talking like that? But I just do it. But it's working.
Right. And that's the thing that really is amazing about is they do respond to these things. And this I want to, so I believe this photo was actually part of.
Yeah, that's Jason Kenzie. That's behind my house too.
Mhm. Now this structure to me is very familiar because it's very similar to some that Harley Owens has found in his research areas. And it's
Mhm.
the one thing that really amazes me about this is that it's the structure of it is set up where there's no way that somebody can look at and go, oh, well, that's tree fall. There's tree fall doesn't do this.
No, because there's these bottom ones, there's no root base. But I got something to tell you about that.
Yeah.
When they found out, seeing that was the nighttime, I wasn't with them because when I have people come to my house, if I let them, I don't
Mhm.
stay with them because when something happens to people and when I'm not with them, so they leave on that Sunday and I'm asking them, where's that at? They kind of tell me, I can't find it. I'm looking all over for it. I know my wood's good. It's off
Mhm.
one of the little trails and I'm keep asking them, and they're telling me different spots. I can't find it. You know why I couldn't find it? Because they took it down, and all those trees are gone. Just that one by his head is there.
Oh, wow.
They do that sometimes. They'll take a structure away, but the sticks won't be there. It's not like it blew over by wind. The sticks are just gone. They're out of there.
Wow.
They took that one away. It's not there.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know what that means. They never told me what that means. I don't know what teepees mean. I don't know what that means. I don't know what Y sticks mean, and I don't know what they make V's sometimes. I don't know what upside down V's mean. I just know what the X's mean.
See, that's the thing that I wonder too, because there's a lot of the teepees to me almost look like they're set up for like almost as if they were like to be camped at or camped.
I doubt it. I doubt that. That's not true because a lot of teepees I got, even by my gifting area, when the leaves are there, they're never smashed down or nothing. I don't think that's what it is.
Huh.
But that's why I don't give opinion because I can't say what it is. I guess I'll tell you what the X's are. And they put X's by my house. You've seen them little ones there. And sometimes they change them. Sometimes there's 4 there.
Right.
There's 1 there. Sometimes it's a different kind of glyph looking thing. Here's what X's mean. This is what they told me. X's are boundary markers, but not for humans. Nothing to do with us. For other things we don't know about. Other weird things we don't know about. They said it's boundary markers for other things that you don't know about. The X's by my steps are protection exercises, X's, to keep them weird things away from us. That's what the X's are. Only way that'd be wrong if they were making it up.
Huh. So it's the warning sign.
For other cryptids or maybe dog. I don't know what it's for, but for other things that we don't know about in our, for other things we don't know about. That's what the X's are. I have them all over here, hundreds of them.
Right.
And now when I see structures or X's, I don't take pictures of them anymore. The reason I'm getting so much evidence is because I'm not trying to get evidence. And here's another thing. There's no such thing as a woo about Sasquatch. It's what they are, what they've always been, and what they can do. The people that say, oh, you're going down the woo, that is the people that want to get evidence of them, be the next famous person, the millionaire, because I got evidence of Sasquatch. And they don't want to accept the truth because if they do, they know that'll never happen because it never will happen. I'll give you another mind speak they gave me this year. I get to my deer stand this year about 4:45 in the morning. I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm here really early. I'll be cold before it even gets 7. And I'm sitting in there. And a deer walks by me. I don't look or nothing, but I know it's a deer. I can hear it walking. And about 5 o'clock, another one to the right of me, right close, maybe 10 feet away. I can hear him walking. But I don't want to get up and look and scare them away and scare everything else away. About 5:15, I'm just sitting there like this here, thinking, one thing, anytime I've seen Sasquatch or any of that stuff, I'm not trying to see them. I'm not thinking about them. It just happens.
Right.
All of a sudden I get a mind speak that overwhelm my whole body again. And I'll say the language they said because I don't talk like that. We do not want humans to try to prove us to the world. Humanity is not ready for us. When humanity is ready, we'll prove our own self to the world. There's too many people. That's where I got that evidence. Want to kill us or have evidence against us. When humanity is ready, we'll prove our own self to the world. We don't want it and we don't need it. And see, that's why I'm getting so much interaction because I'm not doing cameras. I'm not doing any of that stuff. I'm not hitting a tree, but that's the dumbest thing anyways, hitting a tree or doing that whooping sound. I'm not doing none of that stuff. And I'm getting all this interaction with them. I'm not even a researcher at all. I don't go to other people's places. It's only happened behind my house here or in the state land. I interact with them. At first, yeah, I probably was at 13 years ago because I didn't know no better, but I'm not that. And when I have somebody come here, if I let them, I don't usually let anybody come here that, God, I want to see the real. I want to prove that they're real. I pretty much only let knowers, people that know what's going on. Here's what I came up. There's wannabes. They want to believe, but they've never seen. There's believers. They might have seen one run across the road 20 years ago or whatever. There's knowers. They know what they are. And there's probably a lot of knowers out there, but they won't say nothing because they don't want to be teased.
Right.
And that happens a lot. But me, I got a mouth. I can speak up. But anyway, and there's one more. I interact with them. It didn't start that way, but it is that way now. Okay. I guess I'll tell you what they told me. Last year, I said, okay, you guys, I'm never going to try to get, no, first of all, sorry, I'm interrupting myself. Doug Hychek said, Randy, put a camera out there at my gifting area after that smell and all that stuff. And he said this year, you guys, I always say you guys, whether male or female, can we get a picture of you and we won't share it to nobody except for me and Doug Hychek? But then I said, and this was on a tree by where I do my peanut butter. And I said, if you never, ever want me to do cameras ever again, ever, you got to give me a sign, something I can see that you don't want me to do cameras. I go back the next day, camera's twisted, white fingerprints on it that you've seen, and there's a 15-foot, about that big around Y stick laying right on my camera. Well, there was no wind. It didn't blow there. It was placed there. So I stopped doing cameras, but not on the state land yet. I'll go to that. But I stopped doing cameras on that property. And then last year when I said, you know what, you guys, I'm never going to try to get evidence of you from ever again, ever. But then I said, what's going on here? What are you guys? And I decided to walk home. We live by a power line corridor. So go out of the woods and go down that to get to the house. So I had to walk through the woods because it was in the spring and I was going to see if I can find some deer antler sheds. I like doing that. And all of a sudden I get halfway in the woods there, halfway home, and I get stopped again. That overwhelmed my whole body. Here's what they told me. We do not bury our dead on your earth. We do not live in caves. We do not live in a swamp. We do not live in the woods. We are interdimensional, metaphysical. When we're in the metaphysical state, yes, we are flesh and blood. We leave hair, we leave tracks, but we do not live on your earth as you know it. We're interdimensional. We come to your earth because we like to. They told me what they're not. They still haven't told me what they are, just what they're not.
Wow, yeah.
And the knocking sound, they told me this too. It is not them hitting a tree. I wish people would stop saying wood knocks because they're not wood knocks. They're interdimensional knocks, but it's going to be hard to change people for that. They're popping in their dimension, popping out. That's what the knocking sound is. So if somebody hits a tree and they think they get an answer back, either they're leaving or they're coming into us. That's what it is.
So with the sound of portals then?
Could be. I've seen portal before with somebody else. People got to think of it this way. They've been searching for Sasquatch for hundreds of years, maybe thousands of years, and never really got nothing. Not really, because they never will. Because they're not some big old part of the ape family or come across some Bering lad bridge. None of that's true. But I don't know what they are. I just know what they're not. And it makes sense, though. How do they disrupt cameras? How do they do all that? A big old ape, hybrid ape can't do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Robert asked if Bigfoot gets along with elementals.
I don't know. I had this psychic lady come here one time, and we're sitting around the chair there, and then we're going to go out to the woods. She said, don't tell me where nothing's at. And we get down the power line, and she runs to the right and comes right where there was a small teepee there. I didn't tell her nothing. There was a fresh deer kill there, just hair. They plucked the hair out. Then we get out the power line. She said, don't tell me where gifting areas or nothing like that. Because it's in the woods. I don't even take nobody. I mean, nobody knows about it. Except people like, if you came to my house, I'd show it to you. She ran to it. She says, oh my God, Randy. He said, you got a lot going on here. There's more than Sasquatch here. She said, don't ever take the girls out to the woods by themselves, ever. She said, there's a lot of elementals here. So, and she said, the red one, I've seen the red one before, like the auburn colored one, and the black one. I've seen the black one more than the red one. She said, they do not get along. She didn't say no more than that. That's all she said. I don't know why she said that.
And this was this the lady that in the book they called Elizabeth?
Yeah, but that's not even her name. She put her real name in there. Yes, that's the name. Yes.
Right. Yeah, because I was like, I got really involved in the book. Like I said, I just read the whole thing in like 2 or 3 nights. I gotta tell you guys, like, let me see if I can find it right quick. This book is a really good read.
That Mike Quassey's really good at putting words together.
He is really good.
And here's another way you're doing that. if I was lying about what I'm saying, people that lie for 13 years can't remember their lies. They always change. My stories never change because the truth doesn't change.
Right, right.
And here's
This,
another thing. I'm not getting no money off that book. I just need to start talking to somebody what's going on. I'm not getting a penny off it. And that's not what it was about. It was about I need to start talking to somebody because I got so much going on here, more than I've ever seen anybody have. And it's still going on. They don't migrate. Oh, they told me too. They don't migrate south for the winter. If you don't see them as much, you're just not coming here.
mm-hmm.
They don't migrate south. That's not true. They don't go on some migration route like a goose does or an antelope or whatever, They don't.
Right.
That's not true either.
So there was one point, and the book was very graphic in describing this. And when I say graphic, I mean he went into a lot of really good detail about this experience of seeing a very shimmery light portal type thing open up. And there were two orbs that came out of it, and something that they described as a light being.
Yep. Okay, I'll tell you that one. I got a few things to tell you before. I don't do cameras anywhere. I don't let anybody do cameras here. No thermals, no nothing, because it's not about the evidence, about the experience. But anyways, John Badger, who has seen Sasquatch here, he's from the Duluth area.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Randy, I got this brand new camera. Can we go back? One of my older deer stands on the state land, not here. And can I put the camera up?" And I said, "Yeah, I guess we can do that. New SD card, new lithium batteries, brand new camera still in the package." And that's where my second gifting area was after the apples, and I moved it to there. Now I have it here. And there's a deer stand there. It ain't big enough for two people. Just made some little platform, and some. Randy's like, "What the hell's that?" But anyways, okay. Anyways, he wanted to do that. I said, "Yeah, okay." So we put the peanut butter and apples and the new camera about, it must be 50 yards away. Everything's in the woods. He gets in my deer stand. He's sitting on the chair. I got a stand. It ain't not big enough for two chairs in there. So about 11 o'clock at night, to the east, I see this like doorway looking thing. It's bigger than a garage door, taller. Maybe as wide as a garage door, but taller. And it's shimmering like the northern lights and all that, reddish, bluish, greenish, yellowish, whitish, like northern lights look. I take my glasses off, rub my eyes. Yes, I am seeing that. It is so dark out that I can't see John, and my shoulder is right by his shoulder. I say, "John, you see that?" He said, "Yeah, he was watching it too." All of a sudden, two orb-like figures come out, bigger than a beach ball. Now, remember, this is in early December. There's no snow on the ground yet, but there's lots of leaves on the ground, crunchy and froze, Two orb-looking things come out of it, and they're walking because we can hear the leaves crunching. They go over towards where the peanut butter's at. We're in awe. We're not thinking about cameras and none of that stuff. All we had is our phone on us anyways. A little bit later, not too long, maybe a minute, 2 minutes, they come back. The first one is not in orb form because I see the red eyes, the cone head, the shoulders, arms swinging back and forth, part of its waist. The second one is in orb form. They go to that doorway looking thing, which had been there the whole time. They go into it and it's all gone. There's nothing. So we're all excited about it. We finally get down, walk over there. The peanut butter is gone. Apples are gone. The camera's twisted. The SD card is wiped clean once we get it home, and the batteries are drained dry, just like that. So we seen that. It wasn't just me saying it. He's seen it too. Okay, I'll tell you about that one. A couple years ago, Doug Hychek, they had a project. They had security cameras, not trail cameras. They asked if they could put them behind my house in the woods there. And I said, yeah. And they run 1,000 feet of extension cord from my house and 1,000 feet of Wi-Fi cable from my house to make them work. And if you're part of the project, you could look at them 24 hours a day, which was kind of neat. I could see deer going through there and bear and stuff. And this is the same area. I didn't send that one to you. I got another one that was weird looking thing with horns looking at me, looking at the camera. But anyways, this was a second video. And that was there, and it had disappeared. So I took a quick screenshot of it. That's an orb there, and that was floating, and that's a Sasquatch there. You can see his arm poking out, and it's like, and that's right there for how the tree is. That's about 10 feet right there to there. That's how tall that is. That is what that is.
Right. And now, is it
on the camera?
Is this the one that comes off kind of aggressive?
Not that I know of. No, I've never had one come aggressive to me yet.
Because I know that we're talking about one that was kind of dark, almost black color that seemed to be a little bit more interactive, I guess is a good way of putting it, than
Well,
some of
it
the
could
other.
be because I don't know if it's the same one because I've been told there's a lot here. I just noticed something right above that orb there in the left.
Mhm.
There's another one on top there. See that?
Oh
There's a
yeah,
little one. There's
yeah,
two. I didn't even notice that before till now.
yeah. There's a lot going on with some of these. It's like when I look at some of the images that you sent, I'm just like, there is so many different things going on in some of these. It's almost disturbing.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I got another one to tell you. Where my gifting area is at. Oh yeah. Okay. I want to tell you about this here. I had Alicia was here. She's
mhm,
got a lot of stuff over at her place too. That'd be north of or south of the little town Black Duck.
mhm.
And like I said, at nighttime, I'm not with these people. They're going to camp out. I let them go on their own. And she was walking down by the river there, and she seen something because it was a good moonlight. And she just took a picture with her phone like that there, and that was on there. Now that's me. The top picture. There's nothing there.
Mhm.
There's no stump there, or nothing, no pareidolia or nothing. That's a Sasquatch. It was walking.
Wow.
Those
Yeah.
lights back there, those three lights, that's my daughter's one of her horse barn lights. That's what that is.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I
And
didn't
they,
know she was going to do that. I would, I don't want nobody doing all that. So, but she did. I don't care. She did it. That's fine. And then she sent it to me. I didn't even know she got that. When she got home, she said, "Look at this here, Randy." So that's what that's about.
yeah, and there seems to be. I'm gonna have to look closer at this picture at some point because there seems to be other things that are kind of,
There might be, yeah. You might see something I don't see.
yeah, that are definitely there in the picture. So yeah, there, like I said, you just got stuff all over the place.
Okay.
Like the more I hear about your story, the more I think, oh my goodness, this is like the Disneyland of the gods here.
Yeah, it is. Okay, when I let people come to my place,
Hmm.
the week before, I know I might not somebody come for the weekend. Here's what I'll say. And I always say you guys are their male or female, and I do this every time. Hey, you guys, I got some friends coming here. I want you to scare the hell out of them. I mean, really scare them. Don't hurt them. They're good people, but scare the heck out of them. It happens every time. Not just once. It's not a coincidence. Every time. Every time. Okay, I
Wow.
got to tell you something about where my gifting area is at.
Hmm.
There's a trail. There's an opening patch of woods with some pine trees. And then there's a little trail, and then there's the woods. And then the other side of that woods is another trail. You could ride snowmobile down it. I even mow the darn things, keep them nice looking. Just woods trails, but I mow them. So I did my gifting, and I said, you know what, you guys, I'm going to go sit in that deer stand. I want you to come to me. It's in the fall, but it's the daytime.
Hmm.
I crawl up in that deer stand, and the plywood is 9.5 feet up around it. So I got a chair, and I can just look up. And I may be 25, 30 yards from my gifting area, but that's in the woods. I'm in the opening. I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, my eyes go out of focus, and I get dizzy. I said, what the heck? My eyes are out of focus, and I'm dizzy. So I go down like this. See my bald head? Go down like this for a little bit. And I get up. Oh, my God, I'm still busy. I'm dizzy, I mean. And I go down. All of a sudden, I hear a crunchy leaf footstep right by me. I look up. There's a Sasquatch that close to my face, right there. I look at it. It takes another step. I go like that, look at it. And it did this year. Poof, gone. I'm in the open. It disappeared in front of my eyes or disappeared out of my kind of vision. It's gone. It didn't walk off or because there was leaves on it. I would have heard him crunching leaves. It didn't walk off. It disappeared. And that's not
Right.
the first time I've seen that. I've seen that several times. Disappear in front of my eyes like that. Because that's what they can do. That's just what they can do. I don't know how they do it, but that's what they can do. Okay. So this year, this last fall, I had Chris Lopez wanted to come here. He's got Bound to Truth podcast out of the state of Washington.
Hmm.
He was here. John Badger was here. He's the one that's seen the Sasquatch he's seen a jump a fence like a sprinter, like this.
Hmm.
And it's a 5-strand barbed wire fence. A deer don't do that. They go like this. A bear don't jump a fence like that. They go on through it.
Right.
And anyway, he's seen it good. It was in the daytime. So he was here. Mike Quast, the book writer, was here. And a guy from St. Cloud, Minnesota, Russ, and his team leader, they got something called Spirits of Sasquatch, little group they've got. And that whole week I said, people are coming, and I make people, not make them, but I have them camp in all different spots, not together. And usually I'll sit at the fire ring till about midnight, then I'll go back home, and they're all on their own. So they all go to their spots. Now, John Badger, I had him camp in a spot where the deer stand is, where it came to me. There's a lot of activity in that area. That's the same area to where the High Check and those guys had their cameras. Same kind of area, but he's in one of the trails and more of the open. So they all do that thing there, and I go back the next morning about 8, and they all back in my little fire ring. Anybody have anything happen? Well, John Badger got really scared. He got the heck scared out of him, just like I asked him to do. He heard something walk up to him, big, heavy footsteps. You're not going to hear a bear walk up to you. When they do, a lot of times they're grunting, because I've hunted bear a lot. I don't know more, but I can be looking at my bait like that, look around, look, there's a bear there. I never even heard it. That's how quiet they can be. So it walked up to his tent and took his big hands and pushed the nylon of the tent down to his face and held it there.
Jeez.
It scared the heck out of him. And then let go, and then he was too scared to get out and look. He just laid there. I guess that would be kind of scary.
Yeah. I'm thinking that up close and personal is not exactly where I want to be with one of them.
Yeah. And so now Russ and his team leader guy, they camped by the little creek. There's a Spring Creek and the Cormorant River coming together in Hawaii. So they camped but they're on cots. They're not going to do no tent. They're going to sleep overnight on a cot. And here's what happened to them. They had acorns thrown at them all night long, tossed at them. I got something to say about that too when I'm done. Tossed all night long. And they heard talking, voices talking in the woods by them. They couldn't understand the language. And so they had that. Mike Quast didn't really have nothing on that Sunday night. And either did that Chris Lopez, a guy from Washington. Nothing happened to those two. So John and that Russell guy, they got to leave Monday morning. So now we got Chris there. He's going to still camping in the middle of one of the trails there where the she squatchers have seen the Sasquatches there in that same spot. And we got Mike is going to camp down at the end of the southeast corner of the 40 acres. Because I live on 40 acres here. So go back the next morning. Mike got scared. This is the second time he's seen Sasquatch out of my place in less than a month. So it had rained. It rained a lot that night. About 2 a.m, he got up and was going to walk around the woods a little bit. And I make everybody use red beam flashlights too. Never no white lights. And the reason that is because I walked up almost on deer going to my stand with a red beam light. Some nights they don't get scared off, but the whites they do. That's the only reason. Anyways, he gets back to his tent about 2:30. He crawls in there and he hears a bunch of splashing in a creek. He's only like 20 feet from the creek. Splashing like that. So he gets up and looks, and there's a Sasquatch standing in the water, taking his hand and splashing the water.
Wow.
And it walks off as a splash in the water. And so that Tuesday night, he didn't camp out. He said he had enough Sasquatch for a while. So he got a motel in the town of Black Duck. And he even left his tent and stuff there. He didn't come back till Wednesday morning to get his tent. He got out of there. So, okay. Now, Chris didn't zip my tent up Monday night, or the flaps, my sleeping bag got soaking wet, and so did the tent. So he had to sleep in the camper Tuesday night. So remember what I said? They haven't touched that camper in 2 years.
Right.
They haven't untouched it. So when I bring somebody to my gifting area, like somebody like Chris, or like if you were there or whatever, I don't bring them every time. Then they see it, good enough. Then I go do my thing. So when I'm back there doing my thing, here's what I said. Okay, you guys, I'm going to give you permission again. I want you to mess with that camper, hit it, mess with it, and have some fun, because Chris has got to sleep in there. That's what he didn't know I said that. Nobody was with me. I said that. So how was that? Tuesday night, he's in that green deer stand where I sat and they came to me. And about 9 o'clock at night, he's having acorns being thrown at him from behind him.
Wow.
A bunch of times, a good half hour, throwing acorns at him and lobbing them at him, and one almost hit him in the ear, failing right by. Then he looked to the right towards my gifting area in the woods line there, but in the open, there was we know now what it was. It was 11-foot Sasquatch watching him.
Jeez.
watching him. So there was more than one there. That really scared him because he come walking. We're back at about 9:30. We're back at me and Tanner back in my little fire ring. And I could see his red flashlight coming there. And he gets there. He's hyperventilating. I said, Chris, what's wrong? He said, you got to stop. You're going to have a heart attack. Then he told me what happened. So it pretty much exhausted him. And he does that paranormal ghost hunting in Washington. He said,
yeah.
this is nothing. Not even to do that anymore. Seeing a Sasquatch is nothing. That ghost hunting is nothing compared to this. And the reason we know it's 11 foot because the next day I went to where he's seen it. And we kind of measured, so it's around 10, 11 foot anyways. So that night he wants to go back to the camper at midnight. Now, remember what I said, sleeping in that camper, mess around with him, hit it and have some fun with him. So he gets to the camper, gets in there, and he has a bag of Reese's Pieces, the big one, opens the corner up, takes a little bit of them, eats them, puts it in a Ziploc bag because in case there's a mice in there, he didn't want him eating his candy. Next morning, I get up, I go see him about 8:30 because he's got to leave at noon for the Washington. Anything happened? He says, oh, yeah, they were hitting the camper and tapping on the window all night long. Well, they did. They broke my window.
Oh,
3
jeez.
cracks in this side. It's one of those you crank open like a camper old thing. 3 cracks here, 3 cracks there. There was never no cracks in that window. But guess what they did?
What?
They ate all his Reese's Pieces.
Oh,
The whole bag
jeez.
was gone. But the bag was still folded up back in a Ziploc bag.
Oh, wow.
So I'm sure they didn't walk in there, big Sasquatch walk in there and eat Reese's Pieces. I don't know how they did it, but just like one time I have all the SRA guys here, and another time I said to mess with all those guys, and I get home on Saturday afternoon from taking them out in the woods there, and the one guy, him and his son seen a Sasquatch. They smelt it and they seen it walk off. And I get home there. Well, my house is locked. There's nobody home. I go and unlock the house, come in there, and there's a stick of butter stuck in my refrigerator door, the paper off. How's that happen?
Wow.
They mess with me, but I want them to mess with me. I invite it. I'm asking them all the time. One time in our yard there, we got a big yard, maybe an acre and a half. And we got 2 John Deere lawnmowers. One of them is a 425, the back wheels turn, but it's got a steering wheel.
Yeah.
So I park it by the dog kennel. It's facing east. You can't push that thing and roll it unless it's hydrostatic transmission. It doesn't roll by itself. I come in here to eat a sandwich, I go back out there. It's not even 20 minutes, and it's 75 yards away facing north and south within 20 minute span. See, that's the stuff they do, but I just laugh. One time, a couple of years ago, back under 40 acres here, one of the trails, there's another little deer trail like this here to the creek. It was grown over brush like that stuff, and I thought, I'm going to walk that sometime when I'm deer hunting to sneak through there, but I can't do it quietly enough. So I cut all the brush out of there and some of the little popple saplings like that. Tanner's with me. I told him take all this stuff and pile it quite a ways away, back farther in the woods, in a nice pile. Don't just throw it. Nice pile. All the butts facing one way, which he did. Guess what? I come back on Sunday morning to ride around there. All that brush and all those popple saplings were pulled out and put across my trail about 3 feet tall, stacked up like that. I couldn't get through there.
Wow.
I just laughed. I said, man, you guys got me good. Last year, I watched them build a structure. I said, you know what, you guys, I've never seen a structure being built, and I've been hunting since I'm 12 years old. I have never, ever once in my life seen sticks fly through the air and land in a teepee or an X. And of course, trees blow down and all that. That's normal. This is not what I have. And I'm walking to where I do my dice and stuff. All of a sudden, I hear a big crack. A tree about like that gets pushed down. I just stop and look at it. What the heck? Right in front of me. And then I see one about that long laying on the ground come up, pick off the ground, and land in that new tree to form an X. Then I see one come up and go down like this here to make an X and a Y. Then I see another one come across like this here through the 2 trees. I watch it being made. Not one body did I see doing it. Nothing. It didn't. There was no storm. They made a structure for me to show me how they do it.
Wow.
I mean, what else would it be? It would only be that.
Yeah. And they've done a lot. Like their stuff is very interesting how they go about creating all this. I do find like because when they do this stuff, like they weave things, they kind of shape things in different ways. The Y and A things is what really amazes me, because I know they have meaning. And it's just, to me, of course, everything they do has some meaning to it, I find. But I find it very interesting that they use these kinds of. I also find it very interesting about the peanut butter jars, like how clean they get those things. There everything that they do is kind of like they're almost teaching us in a way something, or showing us different aspects of them, to give us a clue about who and what they are, that we normally wouldn't have any other way other than through just their demonstration. So I find this very interesting. As we go into the top of the hour, though, one of the things that I'm very curious about, because you have quite a relationship with the Sasquatch, and like they literally just, they're at home and in your place, and that is it works very nicely. What if there was one thing that you wanted to leave us with, one piece of information, one thought that you wanted to leave us with, what would that be? Because you have such an amazing interaction. It's almost like, to me, almost overwhelming as to the things that come out of this, the things that you can learn from this. So give us some insight here.
Stop trying to get evidence.
Right.
One that will get every, find a spot where you know that they've been seen on your own, and then maybe give them some gifts, peanut butter or whatever, and do it. I do it every day. It didn't happen right away the first day, and stop doing cameras, quit hitting a tree with a stick, because they're not doing that. Stop whooping, all that stuff. You stop trying to get evidence, then maybe you'll get evidence.
Right.
Get interaction. The only people will get evidence is the ones stop trying to get evidence and get interaction with them. And enough people get that, there's evidence for the world right there.
Right. They will give you exactly what you're looking for when you stop looking for it.
Exactly. Yeah. Because like I said, the only time I've ever seen them is when I'm not trying to see them. When they just, oh God, there's a Sasquatch there. That's when it happens.
Right. Right. And they're very playful. That's one of the things that I think a lot of people mistake.
They are. That's the juveniles messing around. Okay, I want to tell you one really quick thing. What I do, so people get an idea. I got some pre-cut red weed eater lines. When you have a weed eater, you can put the pre-cut ones in there with an attachment. You don't got to do a spool. And I got some wooden blocks. And then I've got some Rubik's Cube and some dice, some popsicle sticks. They're all in different spots. So, okay, here's what I'll do. I'll go out there, say if I'm going to start tomorrow. I'll move the stuff. I'll take a picture of it. I'll say, hey, you guys, see what you can do with this here. And I come back the next day, it's all moved. There's never no food at those spots. And what's happening is the young ones are interacting with me, having fun. I'm having fun with them because I talked to them about it. And don't do anything with eyes. Here, they don't like things with eyes.
Yeah.
And I did a stuffed animal there one time in my area there. All my activities stopped for a good week. What's different? I took the stuffed animal out there, and all started again. I put an eraser board out there, drew a stick man. Arrow, this is Randy. Left the marker there. What do you think here? Whatever I said, all my interactions stopped. I got rid of the stick man thing there with the eyes. It all started again. So that's why I'm coming up with that.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't put the apples up high. I just put them in some bushes. You don't need to. Because if you're doing that there, then you're trying to get evidence of see if they're going to get it or not. I just do it, and it's working.
Wow. Absolutely amazing. So
I do let people come here once in a while. Depends on who they are and what they are. Like you're invited. You could come here.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm going to scare the hell out of you, though. Yeah.
Always a fun time.
Yeah. Yeah. Where are you from? Is you Minnesota?
I am in Central Tennessee, actually.
Okay. Yep.
nestled between the Land Between the Lakes and East Tennessee. Like I'm about an hour from Land Between the Lakes and about an hour away from the Cumberland Ridge area. So
Okay. Mm-hmm.
right where I'm at is a pretty busy area.
It must be, yeah.
Yeah. But I definitely appreciate you coming on tonight and sharing your story. There is so much to take in. Like I said, that book had me engrossed in it deeply. The portal incident, the apparition with the dog. These things are just things that I haven't heard before. I haven't experienced people talking
Right,
about
and they can't be
before.
made up. And like the tracks in the snow I sent you, them tracks are real. I'm going to tell you
Right?
about those tracks. That tracks that I showed you, and it shows my tracks to the left.
Yeah.
That first track started right at that barbed wire fence. There was nothing before that.
I'm gonna see. Is this the one you're
Okay,
talking about?
that's older ones. There's another
Okay.
set. Yeah, that's this is the state land here where I go. That's the state land right there.
I don't think that one came through for me. I need to look to see.
Oh, it didn't. Yeah, that's really good. But anyway, they started right at the barbed wire fence. Oh, I seen tracks again this year too. By the creek there were 7 of them. They started right at the creek in an open swampy area. There was another guy with me, and it ended after 7 tracks.
Right.
No rabbit. If it was a rabbit, they would still keep jumping. I'd see that. It just started and ended. That's what they do, because they popped in and they popped out. Simple as that.
Right. There's one picture that's very clear of maybe about 4 or 5, maybe 6 tracks, and they just end. It just disappears.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah. There's just nothing after that. And it kind of goes, okay, this should not be. This is
right.
not.
And that's why I took the picture of the other tracks to see that was a deer jumping. So I hate giving opinions, but I'm assuming it was after that deer. What else would, that deer was running and jumping right there.
Yeah.
And that's the same area when I seen the first tracks, that same area right there, long time ago when I got hold of the SRA. That's the same area right there.
Wow. Yeah. There's absolutely no denying it. Like when you put all this together, absolutely no way to deny it.
Right. And here's one last thing I want to say, if I'm not going to say no more. Anybody believes that they're just some big old animal hiding in the woods, you can't explain nothing. But if you have an open mind and listen to what I'm saying, then that explains everything. It's not even weird. It's just what they are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I really appreciate you sharing your story with us tonight, and I hope to have you back on again
anytime
to really dive into this a lot deeper. Just continue doing what you do. It's working. It's amazing. And again, I have to echo what you were saying. Guys, stop looking for evidence. You'll get what you're looking for when you stop looking for it.
Yeah, and I didn't send you the picture. They gift me Y sticks. They'll put them on my deck, and they give me deer skulls. I got 44 deer skulls they've given to me.
Right.
On my steps in my house, on my deer stand. I'll walk on a trail, come back the same way. There's an 8-point deer skull laying there. Well, he didn't walk there by himself, and I'm going to follow around and hoax him, see if I put a deer skull down there, see if he finds it. Well, that's not happening. I know it.
Right. Definitely look forward to having you back. And meanwhile, you guys just enjoy and take in this story. Go back and listen to some parts of this that really resonates with you, and leave me your comments below on what you think about Randy's experiences and what you think about this, just the amazing amount of evidence that has come from this experience, this bond, if you will.
Yeah, and hey, I'll talk to any. I usually don't want to do a bunch of typing in my phone, or my fingers. I'll talk to anybody on the phone if they want to know. Talk to me, anybody. They just gotta There's a site called Randy's Bigfoot Research on Facebook. It's a private page. You can see all the little structures and all the stuff I do. You got to be invited to it or accepted, or otherwise it's Terry, Teri, Randy Bauer, the Facebook page. My wife, we just got one.
Right. And definitely, you guys enjoy your weekend. Be safe, and may your journey always be magical.
I've waited for so long to see when you come back to me. Through the wars and battles that were lost, we're born again, it's you and me. The rest is history. Past lives. Past lives. Did we dance together on different floors in 1500 or 1504? We must have been lovers, we must have been something in our past lives.